What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of My Team Career Mode. Today we are here for the start of the Canadian Grand Prix in our season 3 of My Team Career with Fernando Alonso as our teammate. So, this will be a dry race and we need not worry about the wet weather setups as we are currently at the bottom 3 of the R&D chart. So, we are definitely not the backest of the back marker. So, we are improving gradually as we are doing some R&D upgrades so that we can just update our car and make us more competitive against the other teams. So Canadian Grand Prix is here and it is not one of my favorite circuits because of the tight corners which this circuit has, and also it is quite difficult to identify the chicanes and the turns. So, and the Wall of Champions is also definitely one of the horrible places, I would say, but still it is in the calendar and we have to race in here. So I will take it as an opportunity and as a challenge, and I just smashed the Wall of Champions. So the challenge has been accepted, but I still smashed the Wall of Champions and go P17. And our teammate is in P11, so a remarkable drive from Fernando Alonso as Lance Stroll goes into P1. So the Canadian home Grand Prix for the McLaren guy is really proving something as he goes into P1. As we are out in the Q1 session of the Canadian Grand Prix, so we have to make some amends in the race so that we can gain some much needed positions. So I'll be going from the hard to medium strategy, and Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, Verstappen, Perez are in the top 4 of the grid, and our teammate is in P14 and we are starting in P19. So it is 5 red lights and away we go for the start of the Canadian Grand Prix here at Montreal. And it is a decent start, I would say, but still there was a lot of wheel spin and we concede too many positions and we finish in P22. But still again we just go down the inside of a couple of cars and make the move stick, as we are also facing some oversteer issue because obviously the hard tires are not up to temperature and it is quite a difficult thing to just control the backspin which just occurs here. And also here at this tight right hander, it is just difficult to see the front because the cars are just blocking your view. Piastri is just in front of us and we make a dive bomb down the inside of Piastri at this left right chicane and we make the move stick, but obviously they are in the medium tires, so they will be having some much better grip compared to us in the hard tires. So we will have to keep in watch of that, as it is quite a tricky situation here as we were just trying to send one down the inside of Latifi, but he covers off the apex, which does not enable us to make the move as we are just moving left and right to warm up our tires and get the much needed grip, as there is a traffic jam in front of us at this hairpin and we have to just stay in the P18 position, otherwise we would be just smashing our front wing with the back of the AlphaTauri, which we do not want obviously, as we are now at this turn 1 and we are just going around the outside of a couple of cars. But still you can see the gap which is formed and we make the most stick. So a brilliant overtake from us as there was an opportunity and we took it. And again in this left right chicane, you can see we are just getting unsettled by these curbs. So the curbs are just too much for the underbody, which is just not enabling us to make the moves, as the Haas, I think that was Kevin Magnussen, so he's just causing a traffic jam here at the Canadian Grand Prix. He's going too slow, maybe he has some mechanical issues, so we have to take into consideration as we just go down the inside of Tsunoda and make the most stick here at this hairpin. But obviously Tsunoda is in the AlphaTauri and also having some medium tires, so he can gain some much needed speed in the straight line and again just overtake us. So it will be a difficult Grand Prix for us, as I was thinking of going down the inside at this Wall of Champions chicane, but we couldn't make the most stick because obviously he has the right to corner because he was ahead of me in the position. As now DRS gets enabled at the lap 3 and we again make a move down instead of Drogovic, our former teammate. So let's see what we can achieve from here at this race, as we're at P16 position, and I was thinking that maybe I should go for the overcut at this race because obviously the hard tires will definitely survive here at the Canadian Grand Prix because the tire degradation is not high. So I think we can stretch this tires to at least lap 22 or 23, and from there if we can get some safety car or some events like that, then we can go for the soft tires as well. But I don't know what the race will be, so let's see what we can achieve from here as we just go around the outside of this chicane and we make the most stick on Latifi. So he just left enough space for us to go around the outside, as he just had to cut the corner because obviously there was no space for 2 cars, as again Latifi was just trying to send one down instead of us and he makes a bit of contact with us, which just almost made us go into half spin, but luckily I was able to control the car again, regain the position. So I think Latifi is just trying to gain some positions at his home Grand Prix, so he's just being too aggressive, and it was quite fortunate of us that we did not get any damage, otherwise it would have been quite a distressful situation for us. As right now Piastri just overtakes us and we're just sitting behind him and we are just to recharge our ERS because it is quite low, and because the circuit has very powerful straights, so we just have to replenish our ERS, otherwise we'll again be sliding back the grid as currently we're in P17 and our teammate and our former teammate Dragovic is making no mends, so he's just fighting tooth and nail to gain this position. So let's see what we can achieve in this race, as now Latifi is again trying to send one down the inside at this turn 1, but he was ahead of us, so we just leave him enough of space and we do not make any collision, so it is fair racing. And we were just sending one down the outside at this turn 2 chicane, but we couldn't as there was no grip on the outside of the track, and obviously Latifi was in the medium tires, so he has tremendous grip, and we just lost out on that position as again Dragovic just overtakes us in the straight. So the straight line speed of the AlphaTauri and Williams is just immense, and I think we just went for a too an aggressive setup, so maybe the wings we are using is quite high and which is not enabling us to gain the straight line speed. As you can see here, Darubala was just trying to make a move down inside, but we just again hold on to our outside position and make the move stick. So I think we have made some mistake in choosing a high downforce setup, because obviously the cornering speed of us is very great because we are gaining too much time on the corners, as you can see here, but in the straights the other teams are gaining too much of time from us, which just shows that we are using too much of aerodynamic setup. So I think we will have to just take into consideration of that fact in the upcoming races, as there is a yellow flag. So this is Guan Yu Zhou and he gets DNF'd here at the Canadian Grand Prix. This is quite unfortunate for the Chinese guy, because in the Spanish Grand Prix also he got DNF'd, and again back-to-back DNF for Zhou Guan Yu. So quite an unfortunate back events for the Aston Martin driver. So let's see now what we can achieve from here, as we are in P19 position and Magnussen was just trying to send one down the outside of that right-left chicane, but we just managed to hold on to our position. And because the Haas has definitely a good straight line speed, he's just sending one down the outside here at the hairpin, but again we just cover off the apex and maintain the position which we have. But it is not too long because Magnussen just overtakes us in the yellow flag zone also. So this is quite of a cheating game, I would say, but the FIA does not penalize him. So it is not legal to overtake another car in the yellow flag zone, but I don't know what the Haas guy was doing, he just overtook me. So that is quite an unfortunate thing, as the rules are not applied equally to everyone, and it is quite of a cheating game and unfair. What we can just gain from here, as currently it was not a good race because we are in P20 position and we were just losing time and positions in the straight line, as the Canadian Grand Prix is quite a short Grand Prix, so in the straights you can just make up a lot of time. And again you can see here that we are just trying to overtake Schwartzman, but we do not have the ERS, and despite having some DRS, we just couldn't catch to the back of Schwartzman, because obviously his Aston Martin car is just too some less downforce, and so he's able to gain too much of time in the straights as Albon goes into the pits. So probably a stop is being taken from the Williams guy, and we have to be careful of that, otherwise we might collide with him at the pit lane exit. So we have to just be careful with our front wing, as right now you can see that Schwartzman is in front of us and Albon is in behind. So I think Albon can overtake us in the straights, and it will be a difficult thing for us to just keep Albon behind. And obviously this Grand Prix is becoming a grind because we do not have a straight line speed. You can see here Albon is just now behind us about 1/10 and he just overtakes us, and we just try to go down the inside at this turn, but again the two are squabbling in front of us, and now AlphaTauri joins the party. So now we are just having to control our car from not getting any damage by this 3 traffic. You can see we were just about to collide with the AlphaTauri, but we managed to control our position as Tsunoda just sticks to the back of us. And now again it is a DRS train, but again in this DRS train also we lack the straight line speed, so quite an unfortunate thing for us as we make some move down the inside and our teammate just comes out of the pit lane. So Alonso has gone for a pit, and now it is our opportunity that whether we will be beating at the end of this lap or at least 4 laps after, because the tires are still good and we are gaining some time in the delta, but still I think we are losing so much of time in the straight. So I think that we should definitely go for the softer tires, maybe that will help us in the cornering also and in the straight line speed also. So but I was not sure whether that would work or not, because obviously we are struggling so much in these hard tires that it is becoming quite a challenge for us. And we just box at the end of lap 22, as I was thinking that we have done enough of this stint and now it is time to go back to the medium tires and just send it absolute send, as there is some issue in removing the front left tires which just makes us lose some more time in the pits. So already a disappointing Grand Prix for us, and it has become even more challenging because we lost a lot of time in the pits. And at the end of lap 27 you can see that we are catching to the back of Daruvala and Schwartzman. So it took at least 4 laps to catch the train in front of us, but obviously we are gaining so much of time as we almost collided with the back of Daruvala. So it was quite a close shave, I would say, because otherwise we would definitely have lost our front wing, and which is not necessary. Obviously we are already at the last place and if we make another pit stop, we'll definitely be losing, as the Aston Martin of Schwarzman is just in front of us, and it is quite a DRS train here, as we are stuck in a DRS train and we have nowhere to go. So now we have to be careful of the fact. So now we are stuck behind Daruvala and we have to gain the positions back. And for that reason, we are just trying to make a scent down the outside at this hairpin, but we just couldn't make the mistake because we go over the curbs and it just unsettles our car. And we are also short on here, as you can see our red light is flashing. So now it is a tricky situation, as we are trying to go down the inside at this turn 1, but Daruvala has some DRS and he just makes his position stick, but we still again make the move down the inside at this turn 1 and we just overtake Daruvala. And it was a brilliant overtake, I would say, because obviously he left enough of space for us to overtake and we make the move stick. And you can see here we are at the lap 30 and Daruvala is again following us to make an overtake at the turn 1, but we just brake too late in front of him, and still somehow we just concede the P20 position to Daruvala, as he just had some fresh set of tires, I would say, or maybe he has some greater engine power which just enables him to just overtake in front of us. And I would say that we were lacking too much of pace in this Grand Prix, because obviously we went for a high downforce setup which just made us quite a slow thing at the straights, and we make a move around the outside at this left right chicane and we make the mistake. So it was a definite overtake from us, as now we are trying to overtake Schwarzman, who is just in front of us. And obviously we are still getting some blue flags because the Ferrari is just behind of us. So now it is a thing of whether we can make this overtake or not, and we go down the inside at this turn right and we make the mistake. So finally we are able to claim into P19 position from where we started, and we are getting some blue flags because obviously we are too slow in this Grand Prix and we had some issues with the engine power, and also we went for a wrong setup. So we are getting some blue flags. So if I let the Ferrari pass, then it will also lead Schwarzman to pass. So I just make a 200 IQ move of leaving Ferrari to pass, and we just defend our position and we claim the P19 position. So a disappointing Grand Prix for us because we lacked the pace, and we have to improve this further in the upcoming races, as Charles Leclerc wins the race ahead of Norris and Russell. So it was a GG race for Ferrari, as our teammate is in P13 position and we finish in P19. So we have a lot to learn from these races, and in the upcoming British Grand Prix we can at least turn around the table, as in the Drivers' Championship we are at P14 position and in the Constructors we are at P9. So definitely a lot of scope to improvement, and we can definitely gain some more points in the upcoming races, as we get some cash from our sponsors, which will be helpful for making some R&D upgrades and facility upgrades in the upcoming races, as we do some departmental events. And we are just forwarding some time because obviously we have to do some technical R&D upgrades, and we will see whether our car improves to a greater extent for the next Grand Prix, which will be at the Britain. So thank you guys for watching this video, and do like and hit subscribe this channel for daily F122 content, and we will meet you again at the next Grand Prix, which will be at the Silverstone circuit. So till then, peace.